Hello and welcome to On the Shelves at ACPL. Today we are doing our final video of young adult titles that are new in the library. Today's group are science fiction and fantasy, so let's get started. Our first book is The Empire of Dreams by Ray Carson. Red Sparkle has been raised with magic, but now finally, as she becomes a young adult, she has found a family, she's found a home, she is going to be adopted by the Empress. But when one of the Empress's greatest rivals blocks her adoption, Red Sparkle has to find another way to protect the Empress and protect her kingdom. She joins the Royal Guard, which is the most elite fighting force in the world. And if she can survive that first year, which no woman has ever done before, she might just be able to protect the Empress from her enemies and find out once and for all who is really trying to bring down the Empress. Our next book is An Anatomy of Beast by Olivia A. Cole. This is the sequel to A Conspiracy of Stars. On the planet of Theloive, there is a tenuous peace between the humans who live in a settlement that is enclosed in a bubble and the native population. But at the end of A Conspiracy of Stars, our main character, Octavia, finds out that there are humans who are living in a separate settlement, more in peace with the native people of this planet. And those people include her grandparents and other people who had left the settlement of Intera and were presumed dead or missing. Then she and her friends find out that there is a weapon being developed by the Intera civilization. What can Octavia and her friends do but try to destroy this and to bring lasting peace, perhaps by getting rid of the people who are so convinced that they need to use war to take over this planet. Our next book is Spell Hacker by M.K. England. In this universe, magic used to be everywhere, but there is a spell plague and an earthquake and things go horribly wrong, and now the supply of magic, or Maz, is very tightly regulated and very expensive. Our main character, Diz, and her friends run a very lucrative but illegal operation siphoning off Maz from this company that has hoarded all the supplies. And when they run into a new, stronger, powerful Maz, they find themselves in a lot of trouble. They find themselves literally being blown away, and they have to figure out how to save themselves and save the world. Our next book is The Grace Year by Kim Liggett. Women in this county are told that they have the power, and when they turn 16, their power is extremely strong and they must be isolated for a year. All 16-year-old girls are sent out into the woods, but not all of them come back. The problem is not just the dangers of the wood. The problem is not just the poachers who kidnap these young ladies and are overwhelmed by their sexual power. But the problem is, can the women get along with each other? Are they their own worst enemies? Our next book is Elysium Girls by Kate Pentecost. In this book, the town of Elysium, Oklahoma, thinks that there's one God, and they are God-fearing people. They are hoping for the end of the dust. But then the Dust Sisters arrive and they find out there's not one God, there's two gods, and they like to have battles using humans and human civilizations as their playground. They leave saying that the people of Elysium must find a way to win a war. They're going to come back in 10 years' time and see if the people of the town are worthy or not. When this time comes, Sal is chosen to lead the townspeople, but then Asa shows up at the town gates with a bag of tricks, and the town people flock to him. But when something goes very awry, Sal and Asa are both exiled and sent out into the desert and meet up with other exiled women and end up building metallic horses that are clockwork creatures, and they are going to go back to Elysium and see if they can turn the tide, win the war, and save their civilization. Our next book is Tigers, Not Daughters by Samantha Mabry. Anna has died, and she tries to come back and talk to her sisters, but is having trouble connecting to them. Her sisters see that a shadow on a wall that doesn't seem to really be coming from anything in their house. They hear whispers, and they know that Anna is trying to communicate with them, to perhaps share information with them, to warn them, but they cannot seem to connect with her and find out what she is trying to tell them. This is a story of sisterhood, the story of loss, and it's a story of magical realism. Our next book is The Vanishing Deep by Astrid Scholte. In this world, the great waves have crashed over civilizations. There are just islands left, and our main character, Tempe, lives on Paladramina. She dives to recover treasure from the lost worlds, the lost peoples who were killed during the great waves. But she doesn't want these things for herself. She is trying to pay for a procedure that will bring her dead sister back for a short period of time, because her sister died keeping a secret. So Tempe does get to revive her sister, but her sister is not interested in talking about this secret, because she was convicted of a crime that she did not commit, and that was why she is dead. So she convinces Tempe to break her out of the facility. The girls go on the run. Paladramina is chasing after her because they do not want their secrets shared, especially the secret of how they reanimate dead people. Will Tempe and her sister be able to find out who committed the crime that Alicia, her sister, was convicted of? Will Paladramina find them? Will they make their escape and perhaps start a new life? You'll have to pick it up to find out. Our next book is the third in a series. It is Lady Smoke by Laura Sebastian. The first two books are Ash Princess and Ember Queen. Theo was named, or should have been named, Queen when her mother died when she was 6. But the person who killed her mother named her the Ash Princess and took over her kingdom or queendom. Now Theodosia has escaped. She is now she is no longer wearing her ash princess crown. She is now the queen, but she is the queen with no army, and her people are still enslaved by this evil dictator who has taken over her country. So she must find a way to raise an army and to take back over her kingdom. Our final book is 7 Endless Forests by April Genevieve Tucholke. There are 2 sisters, Torvi and Morgan. They live in a forest. There has been a plague in their area. So they leave on a quest to find the sword that is in a tree, and if you get that sword out of the tree, you are the next king or queen of their country. This is obviously based on the King Arthur legend. But then when Morgan is captured by a rove of bandits, Torvi changes her quest and goes after her sister, and obviously finds people who are her friends, who band with her to take down these evil bandits, but she also runs into foes who try to stop her from achieving her quest. And this book definitely follows those King Arthurian legends, but it also brings a new perspective to that story and talks about the depths of love between sisters. So those are our science fiction and fantasy young adult titles on our new bookshelf. If you would like any of them, please go to our catalog at alancelibraries.org. Enter your information and you can put any of them on hold, or you can call any of the branches and we can help you do that. Thank you so much for watching today, and we'll see you next time on the shelves at ACPL.